Welcome back.
Here we go. Yeah.
Keep it thorough Thursday.
Here we go. Hey, Mom.
What's going on, Miss Kim?
Here we go. Man, episode, what we at, 7?
Episode 7, man. Week 7.
Episode 7, week 7. Man, it's been, what's that, almost 2 months.
Almost 2 months, man. Consistency, dedication.
Consistency, dedication, and building and growing. So, man, I'm excited about the progress we've made. You know what I'm saying? What the future holds. Just the endless opportunities to build a business. You know what I'm saying?
All that good info. I'm gonna wait a second. We gonna play the game. We actually gonna wait a second. We finna let some more people join for a second too. See what we're getting. Just Leak, welcome. Welcome to Keep It Thorough Thursday. Give it a second. You wanna
I don't mind. Need to get some background music. You know what I'm saying?
some background music? What you want me to play?
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Well, no, let's go and get started. It's recorded anyway. So yeah, so keep it thorough Thursdays. Week 7, episode 7, BYOB.
Don't bring your own beer.
No, you building your own business. That's what we doing today. Building your own business. So yeah, it's your boy E Double. Your host.
Cedric Lavelle here, ready, locked in. Hope everybody's having a good week, good productive week. It's Thursday, over that hump, man. So everybody continue to progress and end this week strong, for real.
So yeah, so today, what we talking about? So building your own business. Basically, I guess we could start with like personal experience. So my experience with building your own business. So I have a clothing line that I've been running now for, how long has it been? Like maybe 3 years or so. I'm a part owner of a barber shop here in Houston 55 Barber Studio, which is doing pretty good. And then I do like some contract work. I'm a contractor. I do like some website development work, and then I also do like some marketing work and business ventures with Said we got going on. So I got my hands in a bunch of different pots. So we got some experience and some good information around that topic of building a business. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to share your piece, Said, and really we can jump into that S test and really get it going.
Let me see. So me, I'm early in my business building stage. My background, communication studies, master's business administration with an emphasis on entrepreneurship. So the insight that I have is a little bit from experience and also education. Currently in the process of building my own business through some collaborative efforts with Eric in the area of brand performance. So you all stay tuned for that. I'm certainly excited about the launch of the website in the upcoming months, weeks, possibly, and some other exciting things throughout the year. So just the process, the overall mindset, the psychology behind building a business, I can definitely speak to it from a personal standpoint for sure. So like Eric said, we have some experience in those areas of building a business. And we
both good and bad.
Yeah, both good and bad. Man, so definitely just the growth phase we can definitely speak to as far as sharing that information and encouraging you all to potentially do the same for sure. So yeah, man, we can hop in. Oh, before we get into it, always a quick reminder: after this the live is over, go to our bio, see the kit. which highlights a lot of our content and context that we speak on throughout the live. If you haven't, go to some of the ones that we've done from the previous weeks. Check out the most recent lives that we've done. See if you can gain some valuable information from there. But aside from that, let's go, E. Let's get into the content, bro.
All right, so cool. So first, the way we kind of break this down for anybody who may be watching this later on, or anybody on right now who ain't familiar with our structure, is we kind of like to start off giving you kind of like a real high level and kind of like an overview of whatever the topic is. And then we like to kind of give you examples of how you can, you know, pursue or better really involve yourself in those examples. I'm trying to be vague here because we talk about a lot of different topics, but and then the final slide is really kind of like the benefit. Like, what benefit do you get from applying whatever it is you do to get involved in, you know, whatever that concept is. So to start off, the S test. So building your own business, the S test. What basically this S test stands for is there's 5 different things that we have listed here, and they all start with the letter S, right? So that's the theme here, the stress test. And me and Sid gonna go back and forth every other, and I'm gonna let him get started, and then you'll kind of understand if you pass the S test when it comes time for you to build the business, or if you're in the process of wanting to build the business. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you kick it off, Sid.
Yeah, so the S test. So there, like he said, there's 5 different things that you definitely want to focus in on as you begin to build your business. And that's story, structure, strategy, skill set, and service. So the first one is your story. So basically that's drawn from personal experiences that you've had really throughout your life. I believe that you show the most authenticity when you're able to gather your insight or ideas from personal experiences, using some of the things that you went through, some of the things that you've seen over the years, some things that kind of get your interest, attract your attention, and using those as just a foundation to build your business and build ideas and kind of create some concepts around brand building. So that's basically what that is as it relates to story.
All right, and then the next one is, what is your structure? So basically understanding the pros and cons of the different entity you can select. So to keep this simple without going into too much detail, like do you want to be a sole proprietorship to start off? Do you want to have an LLC? Do you want to do an S corp? Do you want to do a corporation? So really just kind of understanding the pros and cons of each of those entities, and then aligning yourself with the one that's best for your business currently, as you can always switch as your business grows and your needs change and things like that. Then the next up is strategy.
Strategy. So basically strategy is how you're going about pursuing your business. How do you want to go about attacking your market? How do you plan on managing your new responsibilities? How do you plan on launching? How do you plan on operating everything as it pertains to a business? So those are some essential things that you want to look at. You're launching, you're operating, and you're managing. You know, keeping those 3 things in mind as it relates to strategy are some good, I guess you could say, pillars that allow you to get on the right path to building your business.
And then the next one is your skill set, which obviously is extremely important. So recognize things that you do well, and then acknowledge areas where you may need some assistance, and then where you may be able to get that assistance, whether you need to hire someone or whether you have a friend or a family member. I'm always cautious about doing business with family, but unless you got a family member or somebody who can help you. So pay attention to your skill set and be real with yourself. You know, what am I good at? What am I good at? You know, and where can I use some help? You know, you may be a very hard worker, you may be good with numbers, but you might not be good with coming up with concepts, or you might not be very creative. So just find out what your strong suits are and what your weaknesses are, identify those, and see where you may need some assistance.
And then the last one for the S test is going to be service, which is a huge one. And with service, that goes from anything to how you plan on communicating with your customers, your clients, your community. How do you plan on going about implementing certain structures that would allow you to be more beneficial with the market that you are potentially trying to gain interest from. And then also, in addition to that, understanding how it works as far as it relates to serving a purpose and providing a solution. So that's big right there. Serve a purpose, provide a solution. So when it comes to service, you definitely want to understand that whatever you're doing, you want to do it with a purpose. So understand what purpose that you're serving as it relates to your business, but you also want to provide a solution. So any market that you get in, any industry that you're wanting to attack, whatever space that you wanted to get in as it relates to your business, obviously you want to make certain that you're providing a solution, because the solution is what's going to allow you to build your business. You know, if you're tapping into a market where there's no opportunities, it's definitely going to be a challenge for you to even build and to even grow within that particular space. So yeah, service. That's the last one.
And
Yeah.
so really just to kind of wrap that up. So I think for anybody who's looking to start a business and they don't know where to start, I think this is a really good set or a foundation, right? Like to check off, like, okay, what is my story for my business, right? Do I have a story? What is the purpose? You know, check that box. What is my structure going to be? You know what I mean? How am I going to go about doing this? You know, once you figure that out, check that box. Then you go to strategy. Like, okay, what is my strategy? How am I going to attack this? Like, what am I going to do internally for my business? What am I going to do externally for my business? You know what I mean? Check box. What is your skill set? Identify what you're good at, what you're not so good at. You know, write those things down. Check box. Service. How are you differentiating yourself? You know what I mean? What are you doing to make yourself different? Or what problem are you solving? Or, you know what I mean? What are you doing that's going to make you stand out? Okay.
And your competitive advantage too. That's
your competitive advantage. Check box. Now, as you can see, we didn't get too detailed, right? But that is the starting point for a business. So if somebody wants to know where to get started, that's where you start. Okay. And then now we're going to pivot to some more detailed information once you have a general idea of those 5 things. And then the next is POA, right? And that's plan of action. What is your plan of action? How do you take those 5 things that we just discussed and now put them into action? So I'm going to start off with story. So now that you know what your story is for your business, right? You need a company name. What is your business name, right? You need if you need a slogan, like, you know what I mean, catchphrase or whatever the case may be. You need a logo. So, you know what I mean? Go out and get you a logo. A good resource that I use is this website called designhill.com. You go pay a flat fee and you get to work with numerous designers. They submit designs. You select one of the designers that you like, and then you work with them to finalize the logo. This logo you looking at right here and right here was created on that platform with, you know, a collaboration between a designer, myself, and Cedric. So designhill.com. But if you need a logo, find a logo. And then if you need a website, which I think every business needs a website. Right. People think that with like social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and all that, you still need a website. Absolutely. Every business needs a website, period, point blank. So your story. Now, like I said, now that you know what your story is, you need to map that out. You know what I mean? And what does that look like? How do you tell your story digitally? How do you convey your story through your company name, through your logo, through your website, through your business cards, or whatever the case may be? You gotta tell that story and be consistent and cohesive throughout everything related to your business.
And that's basically your brand.
Your brand, exactly.
That's essentially building up your brand identity. And with your brand identity, that's what's going to allow you to, like Eric said, convey your message to your target audience. You know, and like I was saying from the beginning, your story shows your authenticity. It shows you're human, especially in this day and age as we begin to transition into a more of a digital space or are in a digital space, the challenge is going to be, how do you convey your message from a digital landscape? How are you able to connect with your audience through your brand? And if you have a story behind your brand, typically people are more attracted to stories.
Exactly. It makes it more relatable.
It makes it relatable. Exactly. Yeah. And that story is essential to building your brand, because even as you begin to progress with your brand and look to scale your brand, if you're still maintaining the authenticity of the brand, and if you're still moving in a direction that really heightens your story, that really allows you to continue to engage with your market in a more authentic way. You know, it makes them connect a lot better to you, and also it builds a rapport and a relationship with them because they know what they're getting from you. So we can't emphasize enough, like story is a big thing as it relates to building the foundation of what your company can be as you start, and then also as you progress into the future as well too. You had anything else to add on that?
No, not at all. So let's move on to structure.
So structure, like he was speaking on the first slide. That's your LLC, your S corp, sole proprietorship, corporation. Those are basically like the essentials that you have to have an understanding of as it relates to even starting and establishing your business. Now, I will highly recommend, even with the information that we give, please do your due diligence and go and read and understand some of the nuts and bolts and some of the specifics of each entity, so you can best assess what you believe would be most useful for you. But to kind of simplify everything, each one of those particular structures all relates to your taxes, your liability, and your funding. And each one of them presents different opportunities and downsides, in a sense, depending on what area that you want to navigate into. So just for an example, with an LLC, with a limited liability company, it gives you a little bit more leverage if you ever find yourself in a situation where, as it pertains to legal matters. But also what it allows you to do is give you a little bit of kickback on taxes. With a sole proprietorship, a lot of the responsibility as it relates to anything potentially happening to your business in the future, you take the blunt end of that. You know, the potential things of being sued or, you know, legal matters.
My bad, said I ain't cut you off.
No, you good, bro? Because I know you got a lot of details on that. Go ahead.
So sole proprietorship, LLC, S corp, corporation. A sole proprietorship. So say like, okay, I'll give you an example. I do contract work for people, like I said earlier, like with websites, and I do like some marketing work. I actually don't do that under a business name, because the relationship that I have with and if I'm being honest, the smarter thing would be for me to do it under my business name, but I have a personal relationship with these people, so I'm not too worried from a legal perspective. But you're basically, you know, independent contractor, but if you do anything wrong, you're liable. They can sue you, period, point blank. Everything's registered under your social security number. When they give you the tax documents and you file, everything goes under your taxes. The LLC is actually similar to a sole proprietorship. The only difference is that they can't come after you if something go wrong. They have to sue the business, and they can go after the business. But from a tax standpoint, when you file them taxes, it just goes on your personal income taxes. So whatever, if you made $50,000 with your LLC, and we just gonna do simple numbers, $50,000 at your job, you know what I mean? You report you made $100,000 that year. That's how it shows on your taxes. There ain't no separation on your taxes. Now S corp is basically, you get tax breaks and things like that if you're paying yourself a decent salary, or if you have employees that you're paying, then you can get tax breaks. Now, again, what said earlier, it sounds funny when I say that, what said, but do your due diligence, right? And do what works for you. But the S corp gives you additional tax breaks for, you know, paying employees and things like that. So all of that don't count against you. You know, like if you pay yourself and, you know, with the taxes and all that. And then a corporation, very similar to a LLC, but you have, you know, you can have shareholders, and then it's the best when it comes to liability. Like, because there's some government requirements and things like that that you have to follow that gives you even more protection. But, you know what I mean? It's similar to a LLC, but you know what I mean? It's a lot more things you got to go through to qualify, and government regulation and things like that. And I'm gonna be real, and I don't know if Seth agrees with me on this. For most people starting a business, the best business structure that I recommend from my experience is to just do an LLC. Don't do a sole proprietorship. Don't try to do a corporation. Don't do an S corp, because most businesses, you're not making money right away. And I don't know if a lot of people realize that or not, but in most businesses, you're not about to turn a profit right away. Like, it's going to take a little while before you make your money back, unless you start some sort of business that has very low startup costs where you don't really have to invest too much and you're able to make money right away. But any business that you need to invest money into to get started, it's going to take a little while. I can't remember what the statistics is. Maybe you know, said, but they say it takes, I think it's something like 2 years before most businesses turn a profit. 3 years. And the crazy thing about that is most businesses don't even last 2 years.
Yep.
And so I think that kind of explains itself. I don't even think we need to say, but yeah. So I'm gonna let you take the next one, Sam.
No, yeah, we can go to strategy.
Strategy. Yeah.
So basically on strategy, that's basically how are you going to attack your industry, as we said, and then set your business up for success. So whether that be social media marketing, whether that be Google AdWords, emailers, mailers, photo shoots, just really having a more, I guess you could say, thorough understanding of how you plan on going about positioning your brand. And really strategy is about positioning. How do you want to be portrayed within the market, within the industry, or within the landscape that you're going to be in? So with social media, you know, what's going to be your aesthetic on your my daughter says aesthetic is so much, that word is always popping up in my mind. What's going to be your aesthetic for your social media platforms? How are you going to engage with your customers? When it comes to emails, are you going to be doing newsletters? How often are you going to be communicating with your clients and with your customers? As it relates to your client acquisition strategy, how do you plan on going about getting more clients and building your clientele? What's your goals for the next 2 years, 3 years, 5 years? Do you plan to scale within a certain amount of time, and where the funding is going to come from? So there's a lot of different things that you want to keep in mind as you begin to write out your strategy and look to the direction that you want to go as far as positioning your brand. But those are a lot of the things that you want to look at specifically as it relates to being able to attract people within your market, but also be able to build on the momentum that you create within that strategy too.
One thing I want to add on structure that I forgot, well, really two things, and then I'll add my piece to strategy. So structure, people ask me this all the time: how much does it cost to start a LLC? So, and now I can only speak to the state of Texas. I'm originally from Minneapolis, and I started my first LLC in Minneapolis, but we talking over 11 years ago, and I honestly don't remember what I paid. But so in the state of Texas, to form an entity, it's $300. That's how much it costs. And I believe that's every entity we just mentioned. Now, there's more than just LLCs, S corps, corporations. There's a few other ones, but those three, I believe they're all $300. But I know LLC for sure is $300. And along with that is you need to apply for an EIN, which is your employee identification number. So say, for instance, you're starting a clothing line, you set up your business entity, you need your EIN to set up accounts with your wholesalers, or you like buy clothing and things like that from. And that's regardless of whatever business you in. So if you open a bar and you need to buy liquor from liquor wholesalers, or if you open a nightclub, what I guess that's liquor too. I'm trying to think of something else. You know what I mean? Or if you own, say, home theater company or something where you install projectors and things like that, you gotta, you know, have that information to provide to the wholesalers where they can register you and you're a legitimate business where they'll do business with you. And I provided links in the resources on the building your own business kit for Texas. You go to your Secretary of State to apply for a business entity. So if you go to Google, whatever state you live in, if, you know, we live here in Texas. If you go to create an LLC, how do I create an LLC in Texas? You're going to see a million different links. And a lot of them are going to be businesses saying this much. And what happens is you overpay because they end up doing it for you. And you're paying extra to have them do it for you. So find the site that ends in .gov, okay? Because then you're going to know it's a government site. And then go in there, and it should be somewhere around that $300 mark. The EIN is the same for everybody because your employee identification number is your federal number. That's a federal number. So that website that I have listed is the same for everybody. That you go there and apply for your EIN. So, and then strategy. What you said, that's the thing. Said. We make some shirts.
We can make that. Yeah. Said. Go ahead.
But with strategy, what you said about mailers, I didn't realize the importance of emails until I started running my own business.
Yeah.
The same way websites are like mad important, emails and creating an email list is like super important. Name one person you know that don't got an email.
Yeah, crickets, bro.
Even kids got emails. You know what I'm saying? Everybody you know has an email, and everybody check their email every damn day. I know that's one of the first things I do when I wake up. With checking my text messages and my missed calls, my social media, my email. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't realize the importance, because what happens is over time when you build that email list, that's free marketing. Because now you can do mass promotion and for your products when you release products or whatever it is you do. If you're an entertainer, if you whatever type of business you're creating,
it keeps them engaged.
It's free promo. You got a list of however many people that you can just instantly send it to. And the beauty about building that email list is it's not like spamming people on Facebook where you just tagging everybody in your posts and shit. It's not like that. All of these people gave their email to you.
Right.
They gave their email to you and essentially gave you permission to even email them.
The email.
You know what I'm saying? So like it's way different. It's in the world of sales, it's a hot lead. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not a cold lead. They already are familiar with you. They know who you are. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to touch on that when you said mailers, because that's like well, mailers can be two things, honestly. It could be mailers like you mailing out stuff, but then also, you know, emails, building a subscription list, you know. But now to move on. So skill set. We talked about this in the previous little segment. What are you good at? Right? One of my strong suits is I'm extremely organized when it comes to business, right? It really kind of like an organized chaos. If you come and look at my desk or something, it may look crazy to you, but I know where everything at. You know what I'm saying? Like, but when it comes to business, I'm extremely organized and I'm very methodical. You know what I'm saying? I kind of think things through. And that's one of the things me and Sid kind of have in common, like very strategic, you know what I mean, with the way we approach things. But one of the things I'm not so good at is time management, which is something that I'm working on. You know what I'm saying?
You're work in progress.
Really you said what?
I said you're work in progress.
Work in progress. You know what I mean? So if I had somebody, you know, really like an assistant of some sort, that would be, you know what I mean, something that would be beneficial to me to kind of assist me. You know what I mean? But figure out what you're good at and then what you're not so good at so that you can properly utilize your resources. So, you know, do you need somebody to do your accounting for you? Do you need somebody to do your marketing for you? Do you need somebody to, you know, do sales for you? Do you need somebody to, you know, manage? Not everybody is a good manager. You may be super smart, you may be super creative, but you might not be good at managing people. You know what I'm saying? And then customer service. Not everybody's good at customer service. You know, again, you may be good at all them other things, but you might suck when it comes to talking to your customers. You know what I'm saying? So figure out what it is that you're good at and where you need opportunity and where you need to hire people. Now, obviously, this will change depending on whatever industry it is that you're going into. So, you know what I mean? If you're doing anything that's retail related, customer service is of utmost importance.
Whew, boy, who you
know what I'm saying? Like, that is the most important thing. Your product don't even got to be the greatest. If you got excellent customer service, they're going to come back because they feel good. You make them feel good. It's an emotional connection. But now in other things, you know, depending on what it is, the product may be of utmost importance. You know what I mean? And the customer service might not matter as much. But I think customer service is always pretty important, though. So let me say that. But again, to sum up skill set, and I'm gonna let you, if you want to add something to that, said, just figure out what you're good at. Figure out what you're good at and where your areas of opportunity are, and, you know, finding people, whether they're in your circle already or if you need to, you know, pull in people from the outside. Anything you want to add to that?
I was just gonna say, don't be afraid to ask questions. You know, people that you trust and people that you're close to, you know, ask them, hey man, what do you think that I'm good at? Or how do you feel about me starting a business? And what do you think my strongest skill set could potentially be? Because I'll say this, it took me a while to really understand what I was truly gifted at. And I can definitely say I can credit Eric to a lot of giving me some insight onto what I did specifically well. And that's pretty much build concepts and contextualizing things. I struggled for a while really understanding, like, man, what is it that I can do that really allows me to build a business, but utilize everything that I know, everything that I've experienced, my creativity, so on and so forth, and be able to structure that into a business and into a brand. And it took me, like I said, it took me a while to really tap into what I did specifically well, and what I could build off of. So like I said, once the light clicked on for me, like, man, I do a great job at building concepts. I do an awesome job at contextualizing things. If something needs to be written and structured, whether it be web writing, whether it be articles and blogs, whether it be email communication, whether it be something with copywriting, I can do that. If someone's needing to build a concept around a brand and have a brand idea or really bring something to life as it relates to their business and their structure and their strategy, I can do all of those things. And so now that I have the understanding of what my skill set is, I can focus on that, but I can also see, okay, this is an area that I'm missing. I'll be honest. I'm technical, but some technical aspects of things I depend on Eric on. I ask questions. So like I said, don't
it's a great partnership though, bro. And all of the people in my circle and people I talk to are always, you know, speak very highly of you. Because again, I'm very good at creating businesses and coming up with ideas and you know what I mean, and attacking a specific business. But when it comes to brand, and a lot of people get these two confused, which I think is very important to distinguish the difference between the two. You got branding and you got marketing. Those are not the same thing.
No.
Branding and marketing. Branding, I'm not that great at. Cedric is amazing at it, which is why from the time I created my first clothing line, all the way through every business that I've touched, I pull Ced in because I know that's his strong suit. And I continuously told him, you know what I mean? And everybody around me, like, hey, Ced, look, I'm thinking about doing this business. This is the name. This is my idea for it. What do you think? Man, I get that man. He'll tell me he'll hit me back in 3 days. The man that hit me back in 20 minutes with 10 ideas. And all of them is fire.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's his strong suit. And again, to go back to the skill set, realize what you're good at, and then pull in people who are, you know, use their strengths. You know what I'm saying? That's what true networking is. You know what I mean? Man. So that's skill set. You know what I'm saying? Know what you're good at. Find your areas of weakness, and find somebody to help you in them areas. And now, service. So how service is this, right? It's what you're providing. So whether you sell clothes, whether you do tattoos, whether you cut hair, whether you provide marketing, or let me go back to that because we actually didn't distinguish the difference. We talked about it, but I didn't distinguish the difference. And I'm gonna go back.
Go ahead, bro.
Branding and marketing. Branding is your name, your logo, your ad copy, your taglines, your the way what someone thinks about when they think of your brand, when they think of your company name. That's what branding is. So like if I say Polo, the first thing that probably pops into a lot of people's head may be the little man on the horse, right?
Right.
That's the first thing that pops in your, and then you might start thinking about a lot of stuff. You might start thinking about the little teddy bear. You know what I mean? You might, you know what I mean? Whatever first pops up in your mind, that's the brand,
that's
right?
The identity of it.
Now, marketing is how am I selling this? How am I getting more customers? Like how am I marketing myself to attract customers, which is a completely different thing. That I'm really, really good at. I'm very good at, I understand technology. I understand how these algorithms work. I understand how to target market and things like that. I'm very, very good at that. Branding, on the other hand, I'm all right. Said's a genius. Like, no cap. That's not an exaggeration. Said's a genius. And anybody in this chat, anybody in this who watching right now or who will watch this in the future, if you're looking at starting a business and you need some assistance, even if you already have a business, reach out to this man right here. And he got his brand will be launching pretty soon, CEO Beneficial, where it'll be easier and we'll market that. You know what I mean? Market his brand. You know what I'm saying? But reach out to this man. But I wanted to go back and distinguish the difference because a lot of people group those two things together. Now typically your branding and marketing do go hand in hand, and they're oftentimes handled by similar groups of people, but they're two different things though. They're not the same thing.
And then let me ask.
No, go ahead.
This is a simplified way that I've kind of looked at branding and marketing too. Branding is essentially what people see, the image, the identity, the visual, and then like he said, your marketing is really how you position yourself. So what they see and how you sell, and those essentially kind of differentiate.
Yeah, real talk.
In the most simplest form. So, but both are key. like there's no branding without the marketing. There's no marketing without effective branding. So with
really good branding, you can really kind of sell yourself.
Right.
If your branding ain't that great, it may be a harder sell.
Correct. That's a fact.
But they definitely go hand in hand. So, but different.
Yeah.
Different, but go together. You know, they boyfriend and girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? But service, right? So service, like I said, whether you cut hair, you do tattoos, you own a bar, you own a restaurant, you sell clothes, whatever it is you do, that's the service. That's your service. That's what you're providing, right? And when you create a business, when you're building your own business, you need to figure out what do you do that's better or different than your competition.
Right.
Now, me and Said had a conversation about this, right? And if you read a lot of books and see certain things, they'll tell you that if you start a business, you should solve a problem. Now, there's a couple different ways to look at that. I don't necessarily 100% agree with that because that's one way of starting a business. If you can solve a problem that hasn't been solved yet, then you probably will have a very lucrative business because you probably won't have too much competition. You don't even want to do it. But if you do something better than someone else is doing, that's also a way to start a business. You don't have to recreate the wheel. In a prime example of that on a large scale is Apple. Look at Apple. Apple is very rarely the first to do anything, but they come behind and do it the best in certain aspects. So
Right.
they ain't recreating the wheel. You know what I'm saying? They just doing it better.
They
You know
just
what I mean?
fine
It's a much
tuning.
more enjoyable experience. It's easier. You know what I'm saying? So like, and I'll use myself as an example again. So we started, me and my business partner, we started a barbershop. We opened up January 1st, 2020. There's 1,000 other barbershops. We live in Houston. There's so many barbershops. What was different about our barbershop? How was we gonna make our barbershop different? What we did was, one, we about to provide top-notch customer service. You know what I'm saying? From the moment you walk in till you sit down, and then the services that we're going to provide, right? The types of services that you get, right? And then just the positioning and branding of the website. If y'all get a chance, go to Houston55.com and check out that website. Very professional. You know, it's very professional, and it attracts a certain type of clientele.
Right.
You know, which allows us to charge the prices that we charge. You know what I'm saying? Haircuts in there going anywhere from $35 up to $70 a cut. You know what I'm saying? Which is crazy. I remember when I was a kid, we paid $15. You know what I'm saying? Maybe 20 with a tip. These haircuts now, $45, $55, $60. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's, you know what I'm saying? So we didn't recreate the wheel. We ain't the first ones in Houston's cutting hair, and I don't cut hair at all. But we ain't the first ones who opened the barbershop. You know what I'm saying? But it was the experience that we provide. You know what I'm saying? Like, and creating that environment. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all know what it's like to go to the barbershop. You know what I'm saying? They have a cool spot. You know, more of a upscale type spot. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah. So what are you doing with your service to be different? What are you doing to stand out? What problem are you solving, or what are you doing to stand out? You know what I'm saying? Are you providing better quality? Are you targeting like a higher end clientele? Like, are you looking to aim at a niche? You know what I'm saying? Or are you just providing top-notch customer service? Which the example me and Sid talked about all the time is Chick-fil-A, right? Like, Chick-fil-A is fast food just like a whole bunch of other fast food places. And don't get me wrong, they food good, but they customer service is top-notch.
Stands
You know
out.
what I'm saying? No matter what Chick-fil-A you go to, they provide excellent customer service. Now, if you go to McDonald's and then you go to Chick-fil-A, y'all know it's different. You know what I'm saying? You go to McDonald's, you might not even get help for the first 10 minutes.
You definitely getting on my pleasure. I tell you that.
And you better hope that they shake machine ain't broke. I don't think Chick-fil-A shake machine ever been broke.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, straight up. So it's just the customer service. You know what I'm saying? That's what they do better than their competitors. And they known for that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, my pleasure. I went out to eat with a few of my homeboys a couple weeks ago to Bonchon. And then our waiter was super friendly and was cool, and he kept saying my pleasure. And I had to stop, and I'm like, you used to work at Chick-fil-A? And then he stopped and started laughing. He was like, no, everybody asked me that. And I'm like, yeah, it's because you say my pleasure all the time. And I'm like, that's the only place I go where they say that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Don't nobody else do that. And it was like, yeah, no, people ask me that all the time. But yeah, that's what they do to separate themselves. You know what I'm saying? So again, service. And I'm gonna let you add.
No, man, the service is an essential aspect to your success. And I can't emphasize that enough, especially for our businesses, Black-owned businesses. Service is essential. The way you treat people, the way that you communicate with people, the way that you interact with people. Service is big. Like, you can't expect to establish a long, successful business and build your brand and build your market and build your impact if you're not treating people well. You know, you definitely want to make certain that you put a strong emphasis on serving people. And that's the essential thing too. You're serving people. Like, you're offering something to them as a service, but you're serving them. And anytime that you're serving someone, you should always approach with a how can I help attitude. Like, how can I help this person progress? How can I help this person solve whatever it is that they need? How can I help do X, Y, and Z? service is an important aspect to building a strong and sustainable business, because you can start a business, right? But the goal is to sustain that business and continue to move that business forward. Because at any time, if you become stagnant, a lot of times it can go back to your service. People are not getting that connection that they felt that they should get from you, or
And word,
you're
word of mouth
not
is crazy.
right.
You know
And
what I'm saying?
then
People
are
talk.
you're not giving the same quality service across the board. You may treat a certain clientele different from what you may treat somebody else, and that may be communicated. And also understand too, like we live in a digital age now, and depending on how you treat someone, they can shred you to pieces on social media if they feel like you didn't treat them fairly, and that's not a good feeling to have. Like I'm big on uh, um, being able to provide a service that's a reflection of me, right? And you also have to look at it that way as well too. Your business is a reflection of you, and if you don't want to be projected in a negative light, you definitely want to make certain that you're providing great customer service, providing great quality service, offers, whatever it is, to your clients and to your customers. That way you can be able to build your business, build your brand, scale your business, get acquisitions, get partnerships, get people to help you. You know, it just goes a long way when you treat people well and you treat people right, period. You know, and that's
It's
really
it's it's it's,
the
it's your
bottom
it's your
line of that.
reputation. You know what I mean? It's your reputation. Like everything you said, just like your personal reputation. You know what I
Right.
mean? If you known for being trustworthy, if you known for, you know, doing what you say you're gonna do, then people are more willing to want to work with you. And the same for a business. You know what I mean? And if your business is trustworthy, if your business has a good reputation, then people are gonna want to do business with you. Other businesses, other partners, you know, it goes hand in hand. So for sure. So yeah, so that sums up your plan of action, right? How to take those 5 S's and apply them. And I can't I can't say how I can't say enough how powerful this really is. You know what I mean? If somebody is really trying to start a business, you literally can take these 5 things and go through these steps, and you will have you a solid business plan,
Right.
like 100%. And that is 100% from experience that I'm saying that. Because first getting started, when you don't know where to go, when you don't have anybody who's as ambitious as you or anybody who's done it before, you know what I mean? It's kind of a daunting task. You know what I'm saying? So to have kind of somewhat of a blueprint, you know what I'm saying? And kind of like pointing you in the right direction, you know what I'm saying? It's very, very important and very beneficial, you know? So yeah, so that really sums up POA, plan of action. And then the final segment here is on the road, right? You didn't started your business, you got it going, now you on the road. And we're not saying ROLL, it's ROWL, which you know is, you know, acronym for reading, observing, watching, and listening. And I'm gonna let Said explain what those are.
So reading material on topics related to your business, whatever it is that you're specifically looking to do, whatever type of business that you're looking to build, reading information as it relates to that, or just business in general, gaining a better understanding of business, having better insight on business, how businesses work, some of the intricacies of business, whether it be things from HR, whether it be like customer service, whether it be employee retention, all these types of things, just understanding business more. Because I always say there's no business unless you know business. Like you can't have a business unless you know your business, and that's essential to building. So reading, then observing companies and the individuals associated with the industry. That's big. So recognizing people that are in your industry or in the particular industry that you wanted to navigate in, and observing, seeing the type of moves that they make, seeing the type of discussions that they have, looking at some of their talking points that they have whenever they're communicating with someone or through interviews, whatever the case may be, but really being observant. But also looking at some of the companies that you know, frequently purchase things from, looking at how they move, how they navigate, how they continuously draw you in as a consumer, and recognizing things from that standpoint. And I think that's kind of like a missed opportunity for a lot of people by not really realizing that every business that you frequently shop from, let's just say Amazon, because a lot of people shop at Amazon. If you really go into the nuts and bolts of Amazon and how their business is built, where they started from, a lot of the moves that they make, obviously they're a wildly successful company, even, you know, your Apples or your Microsoft. But if you really focus on these business and observe how the world is kind of navigating and how you could potentially move into certain spaces, that's beneficial. Or just, you know, from a different standpoint, if you're looking to start a restaurant, or if you're looking to what's another business people frequently do, anything from athletic training, just really recognizing people that are within that particular space, whether it be from the lowest to the highest of business structures, but just seeing how they move, seeing what's going on within that market. It always helps out. Then watching videos, whether it be training courses to sharpen your skills, whatever the case may be. And then listen to audibles and podcasts. So basically, when you're on the road, the ROWL, it's really heightening your understanding of what you're getting yourself into and learning more, continuously being able to digest information that really builds you up and gives you a broader perspective of how you can pursue your business and how you can build your business, and then just give you different types of insight and tidbits on, you know, how to navigate. Because obviously, if you're looking at people who've done it before, if you're reading things that really give you the information that you need to grow and to give back, you know, that's essential overall. So on the road, that's all I got on that. What you got, E?
Yeah, no, really super important. Like you said, reading, observing, watching, and listening. You know, you got to stay up to date, and that'll keep you on the road. You know what I'm saying? That'll keep you on your toes, because business is ever evolving. Things are always changing, and you got to pay attention to the landscape and pivot and be agile, which that word we use
Frequently
in everything.
Everything.
You know what I mean? Like being agile.
Yeah.
So yeah, very important. So with all that being said, man, I hope y'all find all of this information that we provide on a week-to-week basis beneficial, and we're gonna continue to do it. And in particular, this segment about building your own business. I know there's a lot of people, especially in this climate with COVID and all the time that we have at home. Like, so many people are wanting to get into business and become entrepreneurs and start their own business. And so many people like don't know where to start, you know, or don't know where to look or where to go, you know. So hopefully this can provide a little insight and kind of give you a little jump start to, you know, give you areas where you can kind of focus your attention and kind of sharpen your skills and, you know, pursue whatever it is that you want to do. Because at the end of the day, you can do it, period.
Absolutely.
You know, everybody can do it. It's just about that burning desire. You know what I'm saying? It's about, you know what I mean, being relentless. You know what I'm saying? It's about really going after what it is you want and really not accepting no or accepting defeat. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people stop right when they shy of winning. You know, like a lot of people, they hit a brick wall or hit a hard spot or a hard time and they quit right before they was about to be successful. Right. And typically success is right on the other side of failure. You know what I'm saying? And around these parts, we don't look at it as failure. We look at it as a learning opportunity. You know what I'm saying? I know what not to do next time. You know what I'm saying? And I can apply that and share that knowledge to someone else behind me or on the side of me so that they don't make that same mistake. And then now they're better positioned, right? So said all that to say this, man. We appreciate y'all tuning in. Again, hope it was beneficial. Be sure to check out the link in the bio with a link to the BYOB kit. We got a lot of stuff in store for y'all, from Keep It Thorough to CO Beneficial to, you know, other projects and some merch and things like that that we got working on. And with all that said, if you don't do nothing else,
That's it.
keep it thorough.
Keep it thorough.
We'll holler at y'all next time, man.
Till next time. Peace.